think of the story of a girl who once attended one of the free debate classes that we put on at her youth community group. Now on the first day of class, well, she was really nervous. In fact, she was so nervous that she could barely even introduce herself to us, let alone stand at the front of the room and give a big speech. But, like we always do at the end of that class, we decided to have everyone participate in an impromptu or on-the-spot debate. Now by the end of her very short, barely even 15-second speech, she was nearly in tears. But don't worry, this is actually a pretty standard response for most newcomers to a public speaking class. But something was different about this girl. Something which I think is really important. Had that girl not come to that free debate class that day, she wouldn't have had the opportunity to access any other form of formal public speaking training. There's two reasons for this. Firstly, her school didn't have a formal speech and debate class for her to attend. And secondly, due to her parents' financial situation, she couldn't afford to enroll into an extracurricular program that would teach drama or debate or another form of public speaking. So this girl wouldn't have had the opportunity to develop those skills from debate that she could have used later on in her life. But this girl wasn't alone. In fact, more than 1 million Canadian children still live in poverty today. Now our society has been doing a lot to try and fix that. We have breakfast programs, mentorship initiatives, counseling supports, and these are all great, and they've worked wonders. But what if there was something else that we could add to that mix? What if there was something else that when added to that mix could help give these kids an opportunity and the hope for a better future? What if there was something that could help them and future generations break the cycle of poverty? Now, let me take a step back here. I've been debating for over 5 years now, and personally, I've enjoyed every minute of it. Debate's an activity unlike any other. You learn to think critically about the world around you, form and articulate your own opinions, you make new friends, and you have a great time while doing it. But over the years that I've been debating, I've come to realize something. Many of my fellow competitors often come from more well-to-do backgrounds, whether that be from financially well-off families or more academically inclined schools, and that makes sense. After all, when you ask someone on the street what comes to mind when you say high school debate, the response you get will often be something along the lines of a rather nerdy activity, something that only the learned in society should participate in, and everyone else should probably stay far away from. But that's the kind of attitude that prevents so many kids from being able to benefit from and participate in debate. And I'm here to tell you today that it's those kids, especially the ones who are the most marginalized and who right now can't access debate, who probably need its benefits the most. Now, a recent study done by the American Debate League shows that in the United States, of all high-risk students, approximately only 40% will graduate high school. But when those same high-risk students participated in a debate, their graduation rate went up to over 70%. In fact, recent studies have shown that participation in even just 1 or 2 debates can improve one's academic performance both in school, but also later on into post-secondary and into their careers. Now why is this? Well, ultimately, debate equips you with the skills you need to be a more confident public speaker, be more confident about who you are, and more able to analyze issues from different perspectives and delve deeper into them. This helps in students' academic, social, and even later on into their career lives. Whether it be acing an interview or progressing in one's career, debate has many benefits. When we look at the academic benefits of debate, what we see is that an increased confidence in public speaking can help individuals perform better on in-class presentations. The ability to analyze issues from different perspectives helps students to do better on essays, homework assignments. Ultimately, what this does is it helps students get better marks, which we know can help in terms of scholarship applications and applying to programs that these students want to get into in order to better their lives. It also helps from a social perspective, because when you debate, you're able to have more meaningful conversations and be more effective in conveying your messages. This means that you're going to have better conversations with both your peers, but also your superiors, including teachers, mentors, and even potential employers. So what we can see is that these are the many practical benefits which actually will help these kids down the road in order to get a better life and to move past those barriers. Barriers like getting past a job interview or getting into a certain university that stand in their way of bettering their lives. But for me, there's an even more important benefit of debate, and that's the ability to tell your story. When we look at a lot of the marginalized youth right now, a lot of them come from backgrounds which are misunderstood by society. Often they're associated with different stigma and stereotypes. We look at, for example, indigenous youth, refugees and newcomers, just to name a few. So how does this fix that? Well, when these youth participate in debate, they become more confident to speak. They become more confident to share who they are, and now they have a platform on which to share who they are. Through debate, these youth can be inspired to actually share their stories and counter those various stereotypes with their peers, teachers, and network groups. And so at the end of the day, in order to truly unleash the full potential that debate has to make our society a better place, it simply can't remain an elite sport for any longer. We need to make sure that every school, regardless of academic rigor, has access to options, classes for speech and debate. We've already seen the effectiveness of doing workshops in different community youth groups to further enhance the public speaking skills of youth. I knew personally of the benefits and the potential that debate has to make our society a better place when I saw that same girl barely a year later. This was the girl who initially could barely even introduce herself to us. This was the girl who could barely give a 15-second speech. And when I saw her just a year later, I saw her at a debate competition. And you would not believe what I saw. She was standing at the front of the room, proudly wearing a gold medal. That, my friends, is the potential that debate holds, not just to help improve an individual's life, but to truly make our community a better place. Thank you.